Build up the tease. Throw it out to the mega thread.
Yeah.
Audience of one.
Oh, first time Buffalo guy.
100. Quick pace out there. Hey, buddy, keep your feet moving.
Quick shifts, eh? 45 seconds tops. Let's go.
I want to see a shift short tonight, buddy. We're going to roll.
We got 8 in the chamber, ready to be fired away here already in the old Twitter land.
800.
Game on, motherfucker. Let's go.
Whoa, Durst is pumped up. Game on, boys, I guess. Hey, grab the nets, throw the sticks in the middle. The Dursa household is fired up. There's a fire behind him. I can hear family yelling in the background. I can hear Dursa going.
There's an 18th birthday.
Hey, that's a great time for a podcast.
Holy man.
Happy
It's going to get medieval in here for Kim's son.
Happy birthday to Kim's youngest there. That's pretty cool.
Happy birthday.
Welcome to another
Damien.
edition of the Straight Off the Pipe podcast. And we're here for another special post-game edition. As always, I got Chaboy, Mega Thread Mike with me. How's it going tonight, buddy? What'd you think?
You know, I like some things out there. There was a stretch, though, in the second period there that was shades of the past that reared its ugly head where our defensive zone coverage was awful. The only difference between tonight and kind of the last little bit with Tippett was Mike Smith made some big saves because we were leaving him like on 2-on-0s again and like there was I think back-to-back shifts there in the second and around the 4-minute mark that were awful.
Well, in the first period before it too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there was a big lead up to those first 4 minutes in the second period, and that was called the first 20 minutes of the game where Mike Smith bailed us out. So not a great start again, bud. Mike Smith, as you said, held us in. But that's our first time scoring a first goal since the Caps on February 2nd. So that was nice to bust that bubble again. And perhaps our first 2-0 lead since Dave Manson played for the Oilers. Though Woodcroft is perfect. Power play is perfect. The penalty kill was okay. They rolled lines. I'd love to see that. Hyman, nice goal. Back with 97 on the first line and scores his 100th career goal with a snapshot that looked like a young Joe Sakic there. It was really nice to see. He had a couple opportunities from that spot in the game, 3-4 that I can remember. Yes, it gets his first goal since December 16th. I've never seen a power play offensive zone face-off where a winger scores an unassisted goal. That was a weird one. But after missing a month of hockey and not winning since also Dave Manson played for the Oilers, Mike Smith comes out with the first star, plays his third game in 4 nights, makes 37 saves for his best game since, like I said, maybe 1998. So let's start right there, I think, Durst. You were going with it. Mike Smith Was definitely the answer. I would agree. And let me just put a little bit of spice on your steak before I let you get going. The first period for the Oilers was a 43% Corsi. The next two periods were over 60 for the Oilers, so they definitely flipped it after the first period in a big way. But scoring chances for, let me go to not just 5-on-5, let me go to all. Scoring chances for the Islanders in the first period alone were 15-10. High danger scoring chances were 9-0. First period for the Oilers there. So Mike Smith with his best game since Prince's big hit of 1999.
Would you say that he stole the game?
Oh, for sure. If that's not a stolen game, then we haven't had one this year. That's absolutely a stolen game. There was Koskinen in Calgary, Koskinen in St. Louis, maybe about 6 months before that. This was one for sure, Durst. There's no doubt about it. If he doesn't make those saves in the first period, it's 3-0 Islanders, and this is potentially the same old story.
Yeah, I would say that was a quality performance, and I would say that's one of the irregularities on the season where our guy was better than their guy. You know, that's yeah, and yeah, seeing Hyman kind of he had Broberg cutting to the net there, but showed some confidence and fired the puck and it went in, and that's nice to see, and I felt like Puljujärvi was kind of empowered today by Woodcroft, putting him up there with McDavid and giving him, that first unit shine on the power play.
You got quite a few double shifts too.
I thought, there's one less forward and an extra D, so some guys got a little extra time, almost double shifted, and
Gazoon type.
That was my kid. And the other thing tonight is I thought officiating was a little bit suspect. Like, that call against McLeod.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like,
well, it took him 50 minutes to call one for the Oilers.
The stick was there, yes, but he definitely not a trip. And then at the, towards the end there, when Kane comes to Smith's aid, and you call coincidental minors there. Yeah. That's horseshit. I'm sorry. You take out a goalie, there's going to be some retribution. I think you let that go, or give Kane a minor, but give the other guy 2 minors. Like,
what do you think of what Pajot did there? Do you think that was intentional? I rewound it a few times and we looked at it, and it's hard to say where his eyes were looking because he's like the puck and Smith's feet are both right there. I don't think Smith saw Pajot coming. I guarantee you Pajot saw Smith coming, but he definitely, got his leg first, which is a little bit of a slew foot. Did it look intentional to you?
The part of that I think that doesn't look so good is, Smith sometimes will wander, but there he was like at the top of his crease and still had, I think, a skate in the paint. To me, that's where a goalie should be safe, and he gets taken out there. I think it looks better on TV when Smith's helmet goes flying, and I wish that goalies' helmets would stay on their heads to protect them, because that's where it couldn't get bad. If he does go airborne there and then comes down on the ice and hits his head on the ice, I don't want to see that. Like, we were joking today about that other hit, where the helmet comes flying off, and I joked with Dingman there about the Todd Bertuzzi chin strap that's down to here.
Tighten up your chin strap, bud.
Yeah, and Bob the goalie tells me today that the goalie helmets, for the most part, they don't even have chin straps anymore. So, like, what's the point?
Like, at full speed, my first gut feel there, and I had to rewind it a couple times to look, was that Smith goaded him. Like, Smith kind of came out of his crease a little bit and was like, "Yeah, I'll take some contact here. I'm 6'5". He's 5'4". I'll take a little bit of a bump here." Maybe he even like gives it the old, "Hey, my helmet goes flying" for drama. But on the replays, I don't honestly think Smith saw him coming. I think that's why he was surprised.
I didn't see the Dwayne Rollison, bobblehead to get the helmet off.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I mean, it was shades of Rolly because Rolly's helmet always used to come off, but I
That
didn't
was
see.
his trick for it.
Yeah, I didn't see
Free
Smith.
timeout.
I didn't see Smith doing the bobblehead thing to get it to come off on purpose there. So
Yeah.
yeah, Smith's just so like used to when the puck's there, he goes out and tries to distribute it, and I don't know. Tonight he was active. He looked man. He's an unorthodox goalie, that's for sure. But he was making saves tonight, and everybody thinks he was yelling at Bouchard when the Islanders scored that power play goal. I think he was just mad at himself because he didn't want to open the door at all for the Islanders tonight. Like I think he was in that zone where he knew he was in a groove, and wanted to get a shutout for these guys and get a win and get going. And
Funny, I rewound that too because saw that body language and I didn't know if he was at first like, just should have had that.
yeah,
And
I
then
think so.
on second thought, I do think he was pissed off at Bouchard, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Like,
Because Bouchard looks down at his stick after, kind of like, fuck.
Well,
so it almost made me feel like Smith yelled at him.
If you watch that whole play though, there was a bit of a head fake there by the Islander forward that scored that, and he kind of it froze Smith, and he couldn't he bought the fake, and I think he was mad.
It didn't move much if it did, right? Like he might have caught a piece of it, he might have kissed it a bit, like Jack Michaels said, but nah. I think Smith should have had that.
I think he was mad at himself that
Agreed.
He opened the door for them, but then he shut it right the rest of the way after.
Yeah, no doubt.
The one thing I gotta say is Marcus Niemelainen there. Holy man, that kid's like taking junior B level runs. I love it. Like it's like take no prisoners, hard nosed, mean but clean hockey. And I don't know.
That's the second cross check he's thrown like that this year too. He doesn't mind protecting his space, does he?
For whatever reason, my camera is about as blurry as my vision right now. I've been throwing back the beer.
That sneeze I heard earlier, maybe your kid hit the lens. What'd you think of the line combinations?
Yeah, like I say, I think it was empowering Jesse Pugliarvi to get back up there with Connor and him and Hyman. I mean, that's a load, and Evander Kane with Draisaitl, they just kind of they both can do that kind of shield you from the puck, and Yamamoto. I mean, he's doing all the right things. The guy just needs a goal.
Yeah. I like timing up on the top line. I know him and Nuge have a lot of chemistry, but I really like that hustle, man. He looks so good beside McDavid when he's rushing to the net like that. Hyman had 2 or 3 high grade scoring chances, like 10 bell chances there. What I liked as well is the rolling of the lines, which was 4 lines up until the end of the second period. I'm not sure McLeod and Benson got a shift in the third, man. Listen to this here. So number of shifts for the forwards. Connor McDavid, 23 shifts. Derek Ryan, 20 shifts. Kane, 24 shifts. Yessa, 21 shifts. Yamo, 22 shifts. Leon, 24 shifts. McLeod, 10, which I think he had 9 after the second. Benson had 9, and I think he had 8 after the second. Fogle had 15 shifts, and Hyman had 24 shifts. So you've got, 9 forwards there, maybe... 9 forwards that are all within 22 to 27 shifts. That's pretty incredible. We haven't seen that from Tippett this year. So I noticed a considerable pace increase. I know Jack Michaels kept saying, I don't know if I'm overstating this. This is an exciting game. It was, man. It was fast. Like the emotion was there. The passion was there. They were humming in both directions. It was going. There wasn't a lot of face-offs in the first period either. Like, it was just fly.
So we're getting a comment here from Black Massacari on YouTube that says that is a nice number.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, that is a nice number of shifts. I thought the deployment tonight was, they're just rolling through the lines, and seeing McDavid and Draisaitl's average shift time. I think Connor's was around 50 seconds, and Leon's was 40.
53.
Yeah, was 40 something.
Leon's was 51.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if they can be reeled in just a little bit more, I mean, if their average ice time is 45 seconds, you've got, quick, strong, productive shifts, and you're rolling through the lines, and I think less is more that way. You get them out there, quick burst, few, up and down the ice each way, probably twice, and off the ice, and you keep them fresh, and tonight you get through that game, you beat a pretty quality team in the Islanders. I know that it doesn't show in the standings, but they're still a pretty good club.
Yeah. My wife, she said when we were watching that she noticed, not only the physical, because the speed of the game, which was, I thought, heavily increased, which I think was a product of the fact that they could roll those lines, but she made a smart comment, and that, I think just emotionally and mentally, this is going to be something that will be a big jump for the team too, right? Like, I think if there's going to be guys on the third and fourth line pulling this much time, then it takes some pressure off David and Draisaitl, and not have to feel like they're going to do everything and have to do everything. And then on the flip side of that, obviously, you get some confidence into those guys who are getting more flow, right, in their game, and they get to actually touch the ice. So I thought that was, pretty intelligent and a pretty good observation.
It empowers other people, right? Like,
For sure.
You're going to the well a little bit more. You're not just relying on the two superstars to get it done. Bryce Workman just says those lines were beautiful. No more relying on the old vets that tipped it. Yeah, and I wasn't opposed to running 7D. If you don't have complete faith in Broberg and Niemelainen, put them both into the lineup, and then you got different skill sets that you can draw upon. Cody Ceci with the goal there, and that went in the net pretty quick. It's nice to score one that seems like an easy goal, and I don't know what's
CC, senor.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the camera here, but it's pretty pathetic. Epiphany on YouTube. Now there's a handle. To be able to roll the lines, they had to score first and keep the lead. They did that. And it's nice. It's nice to go into a game and not be trailing. In the first 5 minutes. I mean, Smith gave them a lot of runway to kind of get started there, and that's a major switch from what they've been accustomed to. Black Massacari again says still relying, but they still got something in the tank when a situation to go arises. I think he means still reeling, but I don't know. It looked like there was a little bit more confidence out there. I didn't like a couple of minutes, like I said, in the second where they were just giving up, glorious opportunities to the Islanders, and if it wasn't for Mike Smith there, it might have been pretty bad.
Yeah, it was 5 bell after 5 bell after 5 bell chance in the first period. Kind of breaks down some of the stats for the lines. Evander Kane's line, or Draisaitl's line with Evander Kane and Yamamoto had a 62% Corsi for. That's pretty phenomenal. And we're responsible for 6 high danger chances for and only 3 against. So that was the most dangerous line. And then the McDavid, Puljujarvi, Hyman line, they were pretty decent too, 57 Corsi for, and they were split even on the high dangers for and against. The Ryan and Fogle line only had a 44, and they had 0 high danger for and 4 against. So I'd say the top 2 lines still, did the majority of the dominating. McLeod and Benson weren't good. I thought they fought the puck and were kind of getting dominated tonight for whatever reason. So maybe just some first game hiccups with being back with Woodcroft or something there. Did you notice that? Or
Benson, he hasn't played for a while, so I think there was a little bit of a
Yeah.
hot potato kind of action when he had the puck. But I still like the way, in the defensive zone, he finishes hard and he skates hard, and there's a lot of try there, and I think eventually, if he's given some time on the offensive end, he's a good passer, so he'll make some things happen. I didn't mind Ryan McLeod. This is a young guy. He's probably gonna, career plateau, be a third and fourth line guy. I didn't mind him. He skates well. He's not that physical.
Very well.
He's not that physical presence you'd like on a third and fourth line, but he's not a boat anchor out there either. Bryce says no more Devon Shore and hopefully no more Cassian. I know he's out, but he can't be playing as much as he does. I wonder if a new coach with Zach Cassian does anything different, or he's gonna.
Somebody's got to teach him defensive responsibilities, man, because he can't play defensively well. He's not a good positional player defensively, and he's only a decent player offensively. So he hurts you when he's on your third line, but then he kind of hurts you when he's on your first or second line, right? Because he's not a good enough winger to be in a top six, but he's not the right kind of player. I know he bangs and I know he fights, but he's not a good third line player or fourth line player. Those guys got to be on the ice 5-on-5 for more goals than they're scored against, and that's not Zach Cassian, unfortunately.
Brave 187 on YouTube says, do you guys think Oilers can get Holtby? He has a $2 million cap hit. Send Koski down to get $1 million relief and send player that makes $1 million and a third for Holtby.
Do I think they could? I don't know. I wouldn't want them to. I don't think Holtby's the answer.
Yeah, I mean, the question that comes into my mind is Braden Holtby, up the ante from what you've got in even Mike Smith. I mean, maybe tonight is a one-off, or maybe tonight is just kind of a showing of Mike Smith kind of rounding back into form. If he can stay healthy, I think he's probably as good as Braden Holtby. I don't think you're moving the needle.
I think if you're making a move to get a goaltender the caliber of Braden Holtby and in his stage of his career, you're doing it for the mere reason because you need to shake up, right? You're not doing that because you think Holtby's going to be your anchor to win you a cup or get you to a final. You think that this is a new face or this is a shake up that, maybe hopefully this gets the team. But I think if you're going to do that, you can do that with Stalock. I'm not sure Stalock's a worse goalie than Holtby right now.
Yeah,
and it doesn't cost you anything. So that's my answer.
Yeah.
Appreciate the question, though.
If you were looking for a shakeup, I think you had it yesterday.
Well, that's the first stage. That's shakeup 1.0, Mr. Dursa.
Yeah.
But Woodcroft doesn't, do successfully, which I think he's obviously proving he can. Then, 2.0 may come sooner than we think.
YouTube loves to give us the comments. That Black Masakari says again, don't think that Woodcroft can fix Cassian. That has to come from himself. Yeah, there's probably
agreed.
A large
Great comment.
Large element of truth to that. And finally,
he's got to decide whether this is his last contract in the NHL or not. It's the way he's playing. He's not going to get another one unless it's at league minimum for a few more years, and maybe he's willing to do that. Maybe he's not, but I think he got his contract extension. It was a cushy one before COVID. He's had 2 daughters since, and I don't know. He's set for life and has a new outlook on life now that he's clean and sober. And I just think that he's got enough money to be happy. And why go and get more concussions and affect your potential fatherhood? And I really think that's where Cassian's at. That's what my heart says.
You know what? I don't even think I don't expect him to be fighting every night. I would just like a guy that plays with a physical edge, and
he's barely throwing body checks anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you can be a power forward. Doesn't mean you have to be fighting every night. Just play with intensity. That doesn't mean you have to scrap or get your head knocked in every night. Just play with a physical edge. I mean, how many scraps did Josh Archibald get in? But I think we missed that guy,
Oh, for sure we do. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I thought tonight was Duncan Keith's best game.
Oh, look at you already. See,
What?
yeah,
I barely noticed him.
you
That's what you're
conveniently
supposed to see in a D.
you conveniently miss when the guy is playing well because you just refuse to watch, and or you just did and you don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never give him credit when he plays well, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll criticize him when he deserves it.
We're a better team when he's in the lineup, but there's a lot of better players I'd rather have in that position.
Well, the I
It's out of choice and desperation that he's in there. He's out of having no choice and desperation that he's there. So
I would have liked Duncan Keith at 4 million, at 5.5. That's a tough pill to swallow, no matter how he's playing.
yeah, another day. A debate for 15 times ago and 15 times more, but maybe not tonight. What'd you think of that Oliver Wahlstrom character that seemed to be kicking up dust in the corners and along the boards? And, I heard about when he was drafted about, being the best shooter available and the best pure scorer in the draft. Well, he was throwing bombs like Mike Tyson out there tonight. There was, I don't know what the hell he's thinking, hitting Nurse from behind at the end of the game, but that's a death sentence from Doc.
He
And
got
then Nuge
saved.
comes in.
He got saved by the officials there.
Oh, I said that. She said, "Why aren't they letting him fight?" I said, "Because he'll murder him." And especially when he's angry, and he would have been angry.
He was actually smiling pretty big when they were tangled up there. I think what he was saying is you just got saved by the linesman, bud.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. I think he got. I was going to say, sorry, Nuge coming in as the second guy there to try to save him. 8-1, man. I don't know if you watched that more than once. Nuge 8-1 with that right hand from Wahlstrom.
That probably.
I don't know.
That probably pissed Nurse off.
Well, and that's why I think that smile was not a, hey, I'm still joking around. It's like, yeah, you might not breathe another 10 breaths if these referees weren't giving us this bear hug right now.
Licking his chops, yeah. Yeah. I did like Evander Kane coming to Mike Smith's aid there. I got to say.
Yep, for sure, man. So I don't know. I think it's been a pretty decent first showing for Woodcroft. Like I said, shaky first period, but hell of a second period, hell of a third period. I really like what they produced overall. It was an exciting product. It was an exciting game. I believe it might have been my friend Mike Dursa last night on Oilers Live that said, I just want to watch Oilers hockey. It's exciting again. So did you get what you want, bud?
Yeah, it was more entertaining. I saw more rushes that had some potential to them. A little bit of the nastiness. I fucking love Niemelainen stepping in there and
man, what a breath of fresh air, hey?
Take no prisoners kind of game. Like, the penalty he took is like, no, you're not sticking me, I'm sticking you, and I'm cool with that. I liked it. I enjoyed it. He can stay in the lineup. He
almost got that penalty just because he was bigger.
He can be that sixth defenseman. I'm okay with him as our 6D.
Or if they keep playing this 7D system, I don't mind him in there as that 6-7 guy that keeps getting swapped in and out, right? I mean, it gives them options, because this is the problem right now, is that we can't really have Lagesson as our number 2 lefty picking up 20 minutes a night. We just can't. So, you can have that other guy in there as your 7th D, and, like you said earlier, have the guys going that are going, and whoever's, if someone's having an off night, then so be it. There's your solution, right?
This is a big compliment, but how much did you notice Broberg tonight?
Yeah, no, like, I know what you're trying to probably get at, like Lidstrom-esque, where you didn't really notice him because he just, like, the puck was gone, but I did notice him only because I had a special eye on him. But a couple of things I did notice is just his ability to jump into the rush and his ability to transport the puck. I think the last time he was up, I said this as well, that he's our best skating puck transporter, and it's not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
So I saw that again tonight, and I was looking for it. So
Yeah, he plays like tonight was a quiet game, and when you're coming in and trying to just help out, playing a quiet game. When you're not Niemelainen, a huge man throwing the hits, that's good. It can handle that. I thought Cody Ceci was really good tonight, and Nurse and Bouchard picked up their game. I didn't see the glaring mistakes other than that little bit in the second period that I really did not like. But
yeah,
in the first, Smith was making saves, but it wasn't like we were just giving away ice. That one back-to-back shifts in the second, man. That was I was like, holy shit, what are we fucking doing out here?
Yeah.
But it's nice to have a goalie that is doing his part. Brave 187 says, I think Keith came with a handshake agreement about retiring next year. Yeah, no, I don't buy any of that.
Yeah, we've talked about that, and I've said that. That would really make a lot more sense as to why Holland would make a deal like that if he was. I don't know. I've also heard that he might take an extension too. So,
yeah. I you know what, with Keith, I mean, everybody thought he was going to be the worst defenseman in the NHL, and what the fuck are we doing, and all that. I really do think he was a product of his environment in Chicago. And when he came here, I think most people won't do this, but I think there is for a new player coming into a team, I think there is an adjustment period, and I think it took him a little bit of time to kind of get accustomed to these guys. And I mean, if you listen to Low Tide, he says since the start of December, there's been a fundamental shift in Duncan Keith, and he's been a pretty serviceable defenseman. I know you'll never fucking
it's the same old story, man. He's been okay. He's pretty serviceable. Yeah. He's like, that's not what you want out of your second lefty that gets $5.5 million a year. You need that guy to be a stud. If you're going to the final, you need top 4D, especially your second lefty, man. It's just like, he's been, I'll agree with Low Tide. He's been decent for the last few games, and he's been sufficient. He's still not what we need, and he's not bringing the intangibles that he promised.
This is, I'll throw something at you. How many second pairing left D in the NHL can you honestly say are stud D? I'm gonna preface this by saying my second pairing, if they play a quiet game and they're playing pretty even, I think you got the basis of a pretty good team. I don't think your second pairing D pairing needs to dominate the other team. I don't think that's the focus of your second pairing. I think they can't get carved, but you know what I mean? I think it's your first pairing guys that have to lead the charge and really be putting up points. And I mean, Keith's putting up points too, but I don't want I don't want my second pairing to get carved. If your third pairing can tread water, and your second pairing is a little bit above that, and your first pairing is dominating, then you've got a good defense. It's when every pairing's getting carved, that's when you've got a problem.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll agree with part of that. The part I wouldn't agree with is that some good teams do have studs as their second left defenseman. They do, Durst. Like, you asked me who? Colorado's left-handed shooting D are Samuel Girard, Bowen Byram, Jack Johnson, and Devin Taves. That's pretty fucking good. Tampa Bay has Sergachev and Hedman.
I'll take Duncan Keith over Jack Johnson any day of the week.
Did I say Jack Johnson?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you're right. He's not that good. So he'd be at the bottom of that. But I would take Byram, Gerard, or Taves a million times out of a million over Keith. Hedman and Sergachev in Tampa. I'd take Sergachev 1,000 times over before I would take Duncan Keith. And these are the guys that are winning Stanley Cups. So, if we want to get to that level, no, we can't have a sufficient, not bad, pretty good second lefty. I stand by it.
Not when you have what we have in net.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the team's built around giving up high danger chances, and that's the defense we've got to rely on, which I just don't think is easy to do.
So this is a question I'll throw at you. I mean, we've just kind of been going, about the game, and I think in about 10 minutes we'll shut her down. I mean, the YouTube chats are crazy here. I mean, we love it. Thanks for tuning in. But oh man, saying that, I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah. Oh man.
Well, you look at San Jose, Carlson and Burns. You look at Dallas at Heiskanen and Klingberg. Oh no, Klingberg's right-handed.
I'll take Keith over Erik Karlsson right now.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
Erik Karlsson, like pre-injury, no, but I think that's almost a wash. I mean, I think you're dealing with the same thing there.
Yeah, you're potentially right there. I'd still take him, I think. Not dollar for dollar, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah, what is Karlsson's contract?
Oh yeah, like $9 million a year or something crazy.
Yeah, and I think you're almost getting the same player at this stage of the game. Karlsson's younger.
For the record,
Karlsson's younger, but that injury he took, I mean, it really changed him.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think he's ever been the same from that foot.
Isn't he having a bit of a bounce back season this year though?
I think the whole team is having a bit of a bounce back season, man. Like they weren't very fucking good last year. So.
I'd rather have Brent Burns right now than Duncan Keith.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And here I look at the Florida Panthers, and I haven't even heard of two of their left-handed D. So there you go.
Bryce is asking, why did they think Keith was a good idea, being so old?
Because they wanted his leadership intangibles.
Right, and they found him hard to play against when they played against them in the play-in series and all that. But, I mean, it's up to a GM to get the best deal possible, and I don't think that happened at all.
No, not even close.
Like, assuming...
He was brought in for his leadership intangibles. He
Right.
was brought in for his resume. He was
Right.
brought in because he's won gold medals and Stanley Cups and
my
Norris trophies, and he's going to teach our team how to do those things.
Yeah.
And Duncan Keith didn't teach our team shit so far, because if he was supposed to bring stability to the team, this has been the biggest roller coaster we've ever had in a season.
Yeah.
If he was supposed to bring a good example, and this is how you do it, then get vaccinated and show up at the beginning of the season and meet your teammates instead of sitting in a hotel room for 2 weeks. Are you supposed to be solidifying the defense and bringing more structure, calming things down? We give up more high danger chances than any team in the NHL. We pick him up because he was hard to play against.
Right.
That guy that was hard to play against, per Josh, got absolutely walloped the next round after they beat the Oilers. And we are not a tough team to play against. So if he was supposed to make us tough to play against, he's failing in that too.
My biggest beef is still going to be that you assume the full salary there. If you chisel, $1 million, $1.5 million off that price, it gives you more flexibility to do other things to strengthen your team. I won't hang the guy for all the deficiencies of the team, because I don't know if that's fair. I think Ken Holland needs to own some of the failures that he's responsible for. Yeah, there's structure issues. I think team defense, it needs to be something that's. I would have thought with Dave Tippett being the coach of this team, that team defense would have been kind of a cornerstone of this team, and you still have the offensive dynamic abilities of Draisaitl and McDavid to put up numbers, and score goals. But I would have thought that there would have been some improvement in the defensive aspects of this group.
That was the big fear when he was hired. Oh my God, we're bringing in this defensive Arizona coach that played these defensive traps and systems.
And there was never a commitment to defense. It was never. You still see the same fucking things that we've watched for a long time. In our end, it can be a tire fire.
I think he had commitment to defense. I think it was there, Durst. I just think, like we talked about last night, he had the wrong system for the wrong personnel. Like you can't have 3 guys deep in the offensive zone like that. You have 3 guys playing deep below the circles when we've got guys like Keith and Keith and Barry and Bouchard, who are, not the greatest guys at closing gaps and making pinch decisions, left alone, right? If you can forecheck like Woodcroft did tonight with a 2-1-2, and you leave that 3F high and your third forward is high, he's always there. Right? Tippett didn't play the same system in the neutral zone either. And when they're going to play this 1-3-1, the center has to come back. He's got to support. And then he's the first guy back to support the D in the defensive zone too. So this is all going to bring defensive structure. It should. Let's say
McDavid is in Gretzky's office, okay? He's behind the net trying to make a play, right?
Yeah.
Then you need a forward to recognize that and to watch that one of their guys isn't ahead. You know what I mean? You can't give up.
For sure, yeah.
You can't give up odd man rushes. It's basic shit. And you would have thought, like a coach like Dave Tippett, would have instilled in these guys that, you want to try to score a goal, but if something fucks up and they're going the other way, you can't be giving up 3-on-2s all the time.
I think one of his biggest weaknesses was his failure to recognize those lapses and those deficiencies. I think he just kept puck luck and the guys gave it a good effort, and at the end of the day, you got to recognize that you have a weakness in closing gaps in the neutral zone. You have a weakness in giving up odd man rushes. You have a weakness in giving up high danger scoring chances. In order to do that, break it down. Why? Okay, well, it's these 3 or 4 reasons and these 2 personnels, and let's switch that up. Whenever this guy's on the ice, bring a forward high.
Who's the video coach?
I've never heard of him. I just looked the other day, actually, to be honest, because we joked about Josh becoming their new video coach.
Right. I mean, you got to defend.
Is that who that boils down to? Is that the guy that's got to figure that out?
How does Dustin Schwartz survive all this? But
let's blame him. I think Dustin Schwartz is the video coach as well. No, he's not. But.
Holy fuck, that guy's a cockroach at a Chernobyl nuclear accident. He survives everything. You guys were talking last night about bad pinches, and I just look at it there should never be such thing as a real bad pinch that kills you. Because a forward needs to recognize that a defenseman's pitching and pull back and cover him up. Yeah. And you learn that in, fucking Adam? Pee-wee at the most?
Jeremy Kupel was hired as the team's video coach in June of 2016 after spending 3 seasons as the video coordinator with the Nashville Predators prior to the 2016-17 campaign.
It's basic stuff, and we keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's a fucking definition of insanity.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And
no doubt about it, buddy.
I mean,
what do you think's going to happen? Sorry, go ahead.
Nuge is probably our best, defensive forward, and he doesn't get caught too many times where he's in the wrong position.
There's guys there with him too.
He's responsible.
Yamo.
And McDavid does like to set up often, kind of behind the net. But if that's going on, somebody needs to recognize that we could be in trouble here if a pass goes awry, and pull back.
Yeah.
Or be cognizant of if he's passing to me and I whiff, I got to get my ass back.
Yep.
It just, and it's the same thing over and over again, right? Like, so I hope, and I think he will. I think Jay has a recognition of, okay, these are things that we need to work on. I mean, he was a former video coach himself, so he'll break down tape and he'll go through things with people. And I think he's very,
Yeah.
very, 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 very detail orientated. And I don't
Yeah.
think he's afraid to take.
Oriented.
Yeah, I don't think he's afraid to take people to task and tell them like this is how it needs to be. And
That's the way he does it too, right? I think he's very good about sandwiching. That whole sandwich approach is a good, a negative, or a positive. And he takes to. I've heard him on the radio a ton. He likes to frame the negatives as opportunities.
yeah, and I don't look at the guy as, going into this and having, I gotta say this to this guy and this to this guy. I think the message will be consistent, and that's probably what these guys need more than anything. And ice time was consistent tonight, like,
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, how you feeling?
Yeah, good. How are you feeling? I expected to see a pinata come flying through the screen with this party going on in the background. The party's so hot, it's steaming up your camera and the screen there. So
The camera's actually working again finally.
yeah, I don't know what happened there. I did notice that you got a little fuzzy for a bit.
Yeah, it was blurry.
Nobody will care on the audio though. Only our lady listeners that come for the eye candy will care to hear it blurry for a little while there.
It was blurry as fuck.
So yeah, I don't know, buddy. We've probably rattled enough off the pipe for one night. I think I've had to say my piece for sure. I still gonna stick to what I said last night, and that we'll get that energy game against the Islanders and pull it off. But I'm still not sure how we're gonna do in this back to back. I have a better feeling about it after seeing the way they rolled lines and the way they responded. I'd like to see a better start, but instead of what I might have said, maybe going 0 and instead of us going 1-3 in California, I think they're going to go 2-1. Or sorry, instead of 1-2, I think they'll go 2-1.
Yeah, I think San Jose is the first one up on Monday night.
That's correct. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday we got San Jose, then LA on the back to back, and Anaheim on Thursday after a day's rest.
You know what? I'm gonna say we're gonna run the table. I think it's
Wow.
yeah, I think
Homer.
yeah, for sure. No, I think you know what? It's kind of it goes in their favor. I think I think going into San Jose after tonight, as long as they don't take their foot off the gas, that's probably the scariest game out of the bunch, really. Because if they take them lightly, they'll drop a game. So I don't think they can afford to take anybody lightly the rest of the season.
Wow.
And I haven't looked at
They got to go 24-13 for the rest of the season to make the playoffs. So I don't think they have opportunity to take anybody lightly.
I haven't really looked too hard at the mathematics of it. That's not really how I roll. Like I know Josh looks at the calendar and puts on, we should win this. To me, it's more about like how you're playing, and the effort that you're bringing night in, night out. If these guys, give it what they can and kind of play to their potential, I have no question in my mind that they can be a playoff team, as long as they get a little bit of decent goaltending behind them. And they don't need tonight's effort
some consistency.
Yeah, they don't need tonight's effort every night from Mike Smith to get there.
No, we need a 9-10 to 9-15 save percentage for the rest of the year. That's all we need.
They need good goaltending, but they don't need lights out goaltending. Like, they can put enough in the net to make it happen. But,
Agreed.
To me, it's more about how they're playing. Really, it's kind of a more a mental thing, I think, than anything too. It's being committed to just giving it what you have, finishing every check, and battling for pucks and making smart plays. Yeah, I think there's enough talent in this group to be a playoff team.
Yeah, I would agree, buddy. Well, I promised my wife we'd watch a movie tonight, and I told her I had to go to the bathroom, and that was 35 minutes ago. She's going to notice I was gone.
Yeah, we've ran for almost 50, so I can say that the YouTube chat lines have been on fire, and thanks everybody for watching.
Cue up Sunday.
Yeah, so Sunday night, I'm not
Like you wouldn't
exactly.
have. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what time yet. I reached out to Rob Shrimp today. We were trying to have him on last Sunday, but then some parents that he deals with wanted to do kind of a family skate, so he kind of asked me if he could bow out of our pod that we were supposed to do last Sunday with him.
Who are we to deny a guy who loves hockey to go out and get some ice time skating with a family? So
Yeah, so Rob's supposed to be with us this Sunday. I'll confirm on Twitter tomorrow probably what time. And
there's, I got to confirm too. I got to count up the episodes again, but I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to being episode 44 for Shrimp. I'm not kidding.
yeah, no, you go through that, because if we're at
I will.
if we're at 42 right now, I'll do a quick pod tomorrow
Sounds good.
so that we
See you
can
there.
hit 44
All right.
for Sunday.
I'll do some Rashog math.
We'll let you bow out of this dash, and thanks everybody for tuning in on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitch, on Heavy Hockey, Facebook Heavy Hockey Network, my Twitter at Mike Dursa, at Oilers Live Twitter, and at Heavy Hockey Net Twitter. There's a bunch of articles up on Heavy Hockey Network you can check out. Friday's mailbag, where we talk about Woodcroft and expectations, playoffs, where things are going to land. Once again, thanks everybody for watching. Keep your sticks on the ice. Keep reaching for the stars. Go Oilers, go! Go watch that movie with your wife, Dash, and we'll check you out Sunday and maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Enjoy the party, buddy. Go Oilers.
Coors never tasted so sweet.
That's what Kim Jr. said.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Sorry, Truth Hurts Jr.
the blur vision was out in full force there for a few minutes. Thanks for coming on. It was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.